What's up everyone, Hitmonchan here, back again with another Pokemon trading card game video. Today, we're not doing a TCG Live deck tech, or we're not doing a tabletop video, but I wanted to kind of walk you through and tell you how to make a deck when a new set comes out. See, it's really easy with TCG Live to just throw a bunch of cards in there and start playtesting right away. But for other YouTubers and myself who do pre-release content, for these tabletop videos and everything, I gotta make the deck lists, and I think it's a really good skill for any Pokemon trading card game player to have, to learn how to build deck lists before the cards come out, so you can kind of test your theories, test your ideas, and kind of get moving and start to have a plan for when the new set comes out. You already have a couple deck ideas in mind. So if this is always something that you've wondered how to do, how to make decks before the cards release, I'm going to teach you how today in the video. So like this video if you enjoy it, comment down below if you want to see more of these style of videos, and just want to say thank you to the sponsors. They are all going to be with all my codes on the side of the screen below my camera. And check out the Hitmonchan store. I have my playmats out. You can get one while you can. Get one in time for the cups and challenges of Stellar Crown. So now I just want to go through all the resources I use to make decks before sets come out. We know that Stellar Crown is coming out on, at the end of September, but I've already started to make my decks. I got about 20 of them here, and this little interface that you're seeing is a tool you might not know about. It is called My Limitless. So if you go to My Limitless TCG .com, you're going to be able to access this little hub here where you can actually create all of your decks. You can create different folders. I have my currently built decks, so in real life I have all of these decks built with cards, in my bag that I take to events and stuff. I have all of my decks from Twilight Masquerade, all of them from Temporal Forces. You can see I got a lot of decks that I've been working on, and some of them made the cut into videos, some of them didn't, but this is a convenient and easy place to store all of that information. Here I have all of these Stellar Crown decks that I am working on, and I'll take you into a deck here. You'll get a little bit of a sneak peek as to what are my first Stellar Crown videos, what they are going to be. I'll take you into, let's say, Galvantula EX here, and this is what the interface looks like. I can search for a Galvantula here and click this guy. Right clicking adds it to the little deck builder here. You can minus them and add different copies with the plus and minus buttons on the cards. And if you click it, it gives you the translation of the cards, so you can actually have a quick glance as to what exactly it does, and it gives you all its other relevant information like the retreat, the weakness, the attacks, HP, all that stuff. And this is the average thing that I will be using to create and store my deck lists. This is a relatively new tool, so not everybody might know about it, which is why it's the very first thing I'm going to highlight here. We have all the new cards that we can use, including the cards like Crispin, like Sparkling Crystal. All of these cards can be added into this deck builder very easily. You just have to search them. You kind of know what their names are, know what the Pokemon is, and they'll pop up on the side over here. And then boom, you are good to go. And now you might be thinking though, see, this card is in Japanese, this one's in Japanese, this one is in English. Well, actually when the set comes out and we get the English prints, you can just go to the tools over here and hit replace Japanese prints. And there you go, you can have a full on tool that can store your deck lists and update them when the cards actually release internationally. And then if you go to share, you can copy it as a text, which is what I do for the descriptions, or download it as an image, which is what I actually put in the videos. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save that deck. And I want to show you another feature that you can use. You can hit this little playtest button, which is really strong. It opens up this little interface here. If you're trying to test some new decks, you don't know if an idea works, you can hit new game. You'll see your prizes, how many mulligans you took, and you can actually begin by playing a little simulation game against yourself. Like I'll drop a Joltik and a Hoot down here. Let's go for an Arven, and we can look through the deck, look through it sorted, or just naturally how it would have appeared. If you go for sorted, that's okay, because let's say Arven gets us a Buddy Poffin, and we'll drag that into our hand, and it also can get us another tool, maybe the Sparkling Crystal. So now we'll close and shuffle the deck, go Buddy Poffin, we'll bench a Joltik and a Bidoof, I think, so we can hit B, and then that'll put them right onto the bench. We can close and shuffle them, and then we'll go ahead and attach this energy to Joltik and use its attack. Now you need to know in this interface what the attack does. I know it grabs 2 grass and 2 lightning energy and attaches them to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So I'll add a bunch of these to my hand by clicking them and hitting H on my keyboard, and we can, let's say, power up these 2 Joltiks just like this, and boom, you can put, what you can do is you can open another playtest window in your browser and playtest against yourself. Or if you just want to see what an average turn 1 would look like of your deck, this is how you can do it. You can go back to your deck, make more changes, go to playtest, and boom, you kind of have your own little simulation on your computer. You don't need to print a bunch of proxy cards or write them out with a marker on your energies, which is what I do sometimes. And you can kind of just go through and start playing this deck. Now, another good tool that I used to use in the past, which is still really, really good, is developed by everybody's favorite Twitter yapper, Jake Gearhart, and it's the PokeGear app. If you go to PokeGear.app, you can have this little interface here, which is kind of working the same. You can search for any card that is existed in the Pokemon TCG all the way back to the old eras of the game, and you can add them into your deck, and you can click them to make them large. You can get a little bit of info on pricing, the sets, all that kind of thing. The only thing that I am not a huge fan of with this platform is that it doesn't have the Japanese prints. So if I look for Galvantula, let me go back over here. If I go to Galvantula, you won't see Galvantula EX appear right here, but you will see the one from the Shrouded Fable appear over here. So you can, however, update these cards by dragging an image of the Galvantula EX, for this example, into the deck, and this is really good. You can also download this as an image. It has a storage in your browser, so you can save a bunch of deck lists, but I do like the idea of the Limitless builder a little bit more because it's actually saved to an account. So your Limitless account that you would use to play in online tournaments, you can save your decks to that account and open them on your phone, which is what I do when I actually build my decks for my tabletop videos. I make the decks on my computer, open them on my phone, and then I build them to play test them for videos. Another great tool that you may or may not know of, which you probably do at this point, is the LimitlessTCG.com. This is where you can see kind of all the decks that are currently doing well, and you can also go over to just view all of these different deck lists from the World Championships when they were uploaded. You can search your deck for a card. So let's say I want to search for Galvantula EX, or that's the wrong Galvantula, but you get the point. You can see the card, you can see which sets it's from in the US and abroad in Japan. You can also see some different price histories, so on, so forth, all that good stuff. And you can also view some tournaments. If you go to the City Leagues button here, you can actually view all the Japanese tournaments and the cards they are using. So for example, here we have a Gardevoir Palkia deck that was doing well and they placed third at a City League. Or you can look through and we have a Greninja Pidgeot deck that was doing well and placed highly in a City League. And usually these City League results will have some of the new cards in them. These are back from May, so when the new City Leagues have been uploaded and when they're reintroduced, they're kind of like our cups and challenges. Then in September, you'll start to see all the new cards come through on Limitless. So that's one way to check. But I actually really like using another source because, you know, my ideas, sometimes they just come from my brain, but other times you're going to want to get a little bit of inspiration. You want to build a deck around Galvantula EX, but you don't know where to start. This is a good place to look. However, if they're not here, another good spot that's a little bit harder to navigate is the Pokea Book. This is on Twitter or x.com, and you can see Pokea Book. It's at Pokea Book. I will put it in the description. They have a bunch of different deck lists of new cards that you might use. You can see I've already bookmarked this list here. And by clicking on the image, I can see that this is a Dialga V-Star and Lapras EX deck. This is really cool, and I don't know how some people come up with these ideas, but I have gone over here and looked for a Lapras deck. I can go scroll through and see all these different deck lists. We have some Future Hands decks from the Shrouded Fable meta. You can scroll down a little bit more. They have uploaded some new Giratina V-Star decks. You can scroll down and we have a really funky Regigigas V with Ogerpon and Dusknoir EX, or not, regular Dusknoir I should say. You can keep scrolling down. We have some Ancient Box, Dialga, and if you go even further down, you'll see that there are some decks that play Terapagos in them, like Palkia V-Star is looking to be a really big threat when the Stellar Crown comes out. There's a Palkia V-Star deck example. So you could get this deck, start recreating it in your Limitless, and then you can start editing it and moving cards around from there. Another easy way to take a look at all of these new deck lists is on the website for Pokea Book. It is in their pinned tweet right here. You click this and it brings you to this link that has all of their deck lists. You can filter by the different Pokemon. Let's say we wanted to look at Hydrapple, and right now you can go through and see all of these different Hydrapple EX decks that have won or placed highly at different events over in Japan. Now, like, we have a really cool Hydrapple deck that plays the Festival Lead over here, or we have a really cool one that plays like a bunch of different ogre pawns. That's how a lot of them are played. This one plays a 1/1 Lilligant line. And now the benefit of this approach is that you can go on, again, it's in Japanese, so it can be a little bit difficult to read and navigate, but you can go on this website. You can get a great look at all of the different decks at a glance, who's playing what energy counts they're using, and you can kind of average those out and build your own unique deck list that way, which is really, really helpful. I think you can see what A-spec they're primarily using. You can see all of this stuff. Very, very cool, very, very helpful. And this is kind of the premier place to get deck lists from before your before the set comes out. And now the last resource that I do want to mention to you, which I will put all these links in the description of this video, is PokeBeach. I'm sure you know and love PokeBeach. If you're anything like me, I check this site daily for all my Pokemon TCG news. I'm not a sponsored PokeBeach person, but I do want to give a shout out to them because they do great work. Sometimes if you're really getting in the kitchen and you want to experiment with new cards, for example, this from our November set is Surging Sparks. A lot of these cards are just being revealed in Japan or haven't even been revealed there yet. A great example is this new Magneton promo. This has not been revealed over in Japan, but this Pokemon reads you can knock it out and attach 3 basic energy from your discard pile to one of your lightning type Pokemon. Well, Magneton, that's a really good card for something like Miraidon, and by checking PokeBeach and looking at their articles, you can view a lot of these cards well in advance before they come out. They might not have even been revealed in Japan yet, and you can use them to create some really cool decks, get some really cool ideas flowing, start play testing so that by the time the deck comes out, the cards come out, you actually have a really good idea and you're ahead of the game when it comes to playing new decks. That's basically all that I wanted to mention here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really wanted to give a little bit of insight because I think it's a really great skill to have, is deck building, adjusting decks, looking on Limitless and seeing this deck came first in the World Championships, but how do I adjust it to fit my playstyle? How do I adjust it to fit my local meta? These are all really important key aspects of playing the Pokemon TCG that a lot of people might not have the skills to do that yet, and I hope this video kind of gave you an idea of how I make my decks a little bit earlier in advance. If you would like these kinds of videos with me doing a little bit more editing, with me going in a little bit more in depth about general topics such as deck building or such as you know, how I go about making some videos, for example. If you would like some tutorials like that, let me know. I do like to share my knowledge. I love to make videos, but I also love to make videos about making videos and the Pokemon TCG in general. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Like if you enjoyed, and comment down below what do you think of this video. That's me pointing down, not me pointing to myself. I'm pointing down to the comments section. Subscribe to the Hitmonchan channel because I'm posting multiple Pokemon trading card game videos every single week. Lots of Stellar Crown content coming on the way. Let's go back over here. You've seen how many decks I have. I'm ready, I'm cooking, I'm in the kitchen, and I'm really excited to bring you all some awesome content. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Hitmonchanning out.